Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to 5-Minute Bible, where I try to give short scripture lessons for very busy people. We've been slowly working our way through Psalm 23, and we've been through verses 1 through 4. But when we get here to verse 5, there's an abrupt change. We leave the whole concept of sheep entirely, that entire image and metaphor, and move into another metaphor, which I'm going to call honored guest. And I think that this is a very important switch, simply because our God is not like other gods. He craves a relationship with him. We are not just his chattel and the sheep that he owns. Yes, he feeds us and protects us, but we're that far from him. He's the shepherd and we are animals. He doesn't view us that way. And when you read verse 5, that is what you get, that we're more, so much more than that. We are his honored guests and we are worthy of his time. When we surrender to him, when we say that he is our shepherd, he in return honors and blesses us. So this verse, we're just going to start with, you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. And when you think of David's life, truly, King Saul pursued him. There were periods of time when David was living in caves and people were hunting him down and trying to kill him actively. So when he writes, you prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies, you think about this. This is a prepared table. This isn't just you provided for me. Okay. This is you made a spread. You put the table, you set it, you prepared it, you made a spread. This is like a feast. And you have done this for me in the presence of my enemies. And David is basically saying, even though everyone was against me, you were for me. You were more than for me, Lord. You were honoring me. And the thing is, this is David talking about really a specific period in his life. And sometimes a mistake people make when they're reading and understanding the Bible is they will take something that was clearly in context, a promise for one individual, and apply it to everyone. And that is not always the case. It doesn't always apply to everyone. It may just be that one person. So as I say, it's not just, is it in context? It's, is it in the whole counsel of the word? So it's this concept of being an honored guest, having a feast spread before you. Is this in the whole counsel of the word? And it is. And that's what's beautiful about it. So if you go to Luke chapter 14, verse 16, begins a story that Jesus is telling. And he says, a rich man prepared a great feast. And when the feast was ready, and you have to keep in mind that in these days, preparing a feast was not, throwing a Stouffer's lasagna in the microwave. I mean, they had to slay the animals, prepare the animals. There was a lot involved. It took days and even longer sometimes to prepare a feast. So when the feast was ready and he sent out the invitations, the people that were on his level that he invited didn't come. They had various reasons, but they didn't come. So he told his servant, he said, go out, invite the poor, the blind, the lame. Go get them and bring them to my table. And his servant did. And then the servant said, but the table's not full yet. And he said, okay, go into the hedges and the highways, find anyone you can. Okay, these people that he's saying to invite are the outcasts of society. The ones that society looks, especially in that day, if you were crippled or down on your luck, it was because of sin, and that's your own problem. And he said, go out and find all of these people that society does not accept and bring them to this great feast I had prepared. So the rich man said, bring them to my table, to my great feast. They have become my honored guests. They are worthy to dine with me, even if society says they are not. So here we have this concept continued again, that when we are children of God, it doesn't matter what society says about us. It doesn't matter how society looks upon you, whether you have sinned or whether you have not, whether you are down on your luck, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter what society says, because God says you are worthy. I invite you to my feast. I am making you my honored guest at my table. So I want you to remember that this week, that even if somebody is looking at you sideways and not thinking the best of you, that God values you and says that you are worthy to be at his feast.